Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with the Brothers. It's your host, ML, joined by my fellas, my man X, Arsenal brother, my man Good in the Fit, bro. Shout out to our boy Deion, Hill, Ford, and
You have zero idea what he's wearing. Like, I mean, let's be honest. You have zero. You seen a hat and a shirt that match the hat. You have zero idea. Like that could
I
be.
love his change, bro. I'm loving it.
That looks like he has a. Did you go to get an X-ray and that's the shirt they gave you after the X-ray?
No.
Oh,
To show
bro.
you how much of a humanitarian I am, someone's brother lost a leg in an accident and they were fundraising, selling t-shirts, so I purchased one. You know what I'm saying? I'm benevolent. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man of the people. So,
I
you know what I'm
didn't know
saying?
how to properly address that. I'm noticing X is looking slimmer in his darker shirts, and he's down 33 pounds from January 5th. Let's respect him. Shout out to January 5th. Charles,
February 17th, actually, but who's counting?
there you go.
I'm cheating.
I respect this. Hey, happy 420 to you, good sir. My brother from another mother. Big time. How you doing, bro?
You know, just out here, man. Packing up my stuff, getting ready for finish the season strong in Europe. Life is good, man. We can't complain.
Trophy season, right?
Be outside.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Some people.
Trophy season for some. You know,
we always have to respect the Club World Cup and the Dubai Super Cup, bro.
Please,
Have to respect.
Two are the case.
Yeah.
Two are the case.
Always
Boy. Two are the case.
Real selective choice in jacket today, Lofton.
Real select. Next week, I got something special for you.
Okay.
Maybe from the new place. Shout out, your boy signed his first lease ever.
There we go.
So there's that. Deion, what's up, boy? Charles talking about packing things up. Your boy, you was right. I got to give you a shout because you turned it around. Charles and I were behind City, but as soon as you saw that Tuchel moved over, you're like, yeah, it's a wrap. So we all.
So he stinks.
Yeah, he stinks.
Like I said on the last episode, I knew he stunk when you defended him.
I defended him in his terms of his accomplishments. I absolutely
doesn't deserve those. Stinks.
Nah, you cannot say that. Now I got a question for you. Might as well. Do you equate the Champions League final that Chelsea beat City with a bubble championship with the Lakers?
No, soccer is a different game. But it's like the finals on neutral site anyway, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
but no fans.
No fans. It don't matter.
Okay. So you do have to give him his. He did get it.
No, I don't.
Oh, all right, bro.
No, I don't.
Winning is everything.
He's a useless manager.
Well, Bayern Munich shut out in both legs. Awful. City handled their business, moved on in the Champions League. Haaland scored again. He's a machine. I saw a tweet today saying that he had a glitch in the system because he did a quick jerk back at the 70th minute when he was running to the sides. And we are now.
So did he now see the back post and he got nervous or something?
He lives there, don't he? But yeah, they packed him up, right? Quarterfinals. Charles, quick thoughts on City. Very impressive.
I mean, it was a workmanlike performance. I don't feel like I like this. It was over when they rolled out the lineups. Bayern was never going to beat them with that lineup. Like it was never going to happen. They didn't have any threat in there for real. I think I was telling you, how is Mueller and Mane on the bench for a game like that. So once they were running out, Leroy again. I knew they didn't have a chance. So put João at left, put Cancelo at left back. Like he was doing all sorts of dumb shit. So I kind of knew when I saw that 11 they weren't going to win. Are we sure he's going to keep that job? If they don't win the league, is he going to keep that job?
And I'm going to throw that to you, Deion. Why don't you jump in on that? I have a question for you on that.
Who
Tuchel, could he be fired?
Who?
Tuchel.
I mean, he stinks.
Should he? I think if he does not win the league and with this performance in quarterfinals, I think you have to fire him. Charles? Yeah, right?
I think so.
I would
I would lean towards that, but I guess what would be the like what's the next option on that? I guess like the one with that, and I guess you could lean on give me my time to like, I had no preseason, whatever. I didn't really have time to like actually influence the team. Like they were already he could blame Nagelsmann to a certain extent and just say that they were already too far gone.
Who already has 2 trophies in this seat from this past season. I understand.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at like, but I mean, if there was like a clear, there another German manager that would be up to the task.
because they're not going to hire anybody non-German for sure.
So it's like
Pep, and Pep's not going to Germany. He'd be going somewhere else before
like,
that.
Well, Jurgi doesn't have a job right now.
That's true.
But that's about it. Unless they're gonna go steal Leipzig's manager or Dortmund's manager again. But I don't know. Like I said, I think they'll just say he needs like actually have a training camp to actually influence the team, and then maybe give him a couple games at the start of the season because it's a lot of money too to turn over both those contracts. They got the money, but still, it's still a lot of turnover quick.
And also, we found out yes, and I apologize, I misspoke. Obviously, we saw the pin by Kimmich. So going to the other half of the semifinal, who did they got blanked. So 4-1 Man City on aggregate. Real Madrid 4-0 aggregate. Some of y'all believe in Chelsea. I don't see it for them. I don't see their present. I don't see their future. I don't see it. I don't think they have a plan. And honestly, it has to take Lucho to come over there and get it done because I've seen him in the dire of straits. But Real Madrid 4-0, setting up a repeat of the semifinals from last year. X, you get a chance to check them boys out. And also, I just want your quick thoughts on Chelsea because Frank Lampard has not won a match yet.
This current group of players is not built to win. For whatever reason, they just don't gel. They don't play together well, regardless of the manager. I just don't think they fit. Because like you said, there's no vision. But I'm not going to put it past Chelsea to go out, spend fucking $300-400 million in the transfer market. And if they strike gold and bring in the right players, they could absolutely turn around. So I'm not going to put that beyond them because money won't be an issue. But they just stink this year, right? Cucurella, a bunch of other guys, there's no way to make that work. And I think it was unfair to expect Lampard to come in with that group of players and think that he had the ingredients to turn that thing around quickly. So, I'm not expecting anything out of them this year, but next year, I'm not going to assume that it'll be more of the same.
Okay. I'm willing to be patient on that front. We saw our boy Toni Kroos is re-signed with Real Madrid. Charles, I know you take a lot of naps during Madrid games, but you do watch them from time to time. I think it's good to just have veteran presence. He's back. I think I was out. I was 90% sure that City will still beat Madrid. I'm down still to 75 just because I see Benz being healthy. Have you changed your prediction at all?
I mean, it's the first legs in Madrid. I think that's a very good thing for City.
You do?
Yeah. Then I think
I disagree.
I think
I
that's
disagree too.
I think it's a good thing for them because I just don't see. I think they're going to be fine. Like I said, I don't think that midfield is going to hold up. And if you guys are going to run out Camavinga as a left back versus Bernardo, like I think that's going to be like he's been holding it down. Well, he hasn't played against a right winger like that. Even if they put Mahrez out there, like those people, that's a different level of like winger that he ain't dealt with. And I think they're like going to put some pressure points on him. So I over the 180, I think they correct last year's mistake. I think Militao and those guys can get got at. I think Haaland can get at them in a way that they can really give them some issues. So I'm gonna go City 4-3.
Even with the Ake, like if he doesn't play,
I don't think Laporte's that bad. Like I'm not so down. I'm not as down on Laporte.
You are against
Rodrigo? No. He's on the right.
Fair.
He's the left-sided center back. So I'm not really worried about him versus Rodrigo. If he was having to guard Vinny, I get your point.
But it's Pep down on Laporte.
I'm just saying, as your backup center back, I don't think Laporte is like I'm just saying he's a pretty good backup.
why wouldn't Madrid just move Vinny to the other side?
Because they haven't done that all year. They could have done that against Barca all 7 times we played, and he won't do it.
And that was a problem, I think, and it was actually a missed opportunity by Carlo because McManaman and all them other dudes from Real Madrid TV, they were talking about that too. But if there is a time to do it, and knowing that you can still get this trophy, the time is absolutely now. Maybe he will, But Rodrigo also is. He scored a couple of goals.
There's also a 40% chance that Pep's going to fuck the lineup up. So
yes,
regardless.
It's closer to. I agree with Deion. Tell us why you think the first leg actually, it actually helps Madrid.
Well, I think it only helps Madrid because Ake might not play. Like I think if you combine the two, like I think Ake not playing is like a massive deal for City, and then if you combine that with the fact that it's on the road, I'm not saying like City at home can't make up a 2 to 3 goal difference, but if you're Madrid, like, I mean you're much more happy with that than City. If I'm Pep, I'm telling KDB to go out there and just hold on to the ball for as long as he can. We ain't even trying to score.
I just think about it in the way of like last year can't happen if they're at home. I don't think they're going to lose. They're going to fall apart like that at home like that. So it's like if they can manage themselves in that scenario, I think like if they're at home, they can bring it. They can think they'll actually be able to like if Madrid scores that first goal, I think they can like hold on at home and like I said, be 4-3.
I agree. I think in a way it helps. Like if Ake plays, I think it helps. But if he doesn't, like let's say he's only available for one leg and it's the last leg, I think you much rather want him in the Madrid leg than the leg at home. And I think if you're missing him for the Madrid leg, that just amplifies the issues that comes from missing him.
I like that. I agree with that.
Like I said, we're both talking about a left back issue. I would much rather concerned with Camavinga back there at his left back versus, like I said, Mahrez or Silva than I am about Rodrigo versus Laporte.
What if we move Valverde to attack up top versus the midfield?
Bernardo Silva is a better player than all those people. If you let Bernardo Silva on that side against Camavinga, who doesn't even play that position, I'm saying at least Laporte is a center back. I just
think. I mean, and listen, I know the game was over, so like, what does it really matter? But Laporte went out there, bro, and like, it's like Bayern thought they had a chance. Yeah, they started pinning their ears back like it was a 1-0 game.
I want you to hold that thought because I don't know. Actually, I just realized we ain't gonna talk till next Wednesday, maybe or afterwards. So hold that thought on Laporte right there, Charles. But let's while we're still in the Champions League, we have an all-Italian semifinal, which we were going, and here we are. I mean, let's what happened to your boys?
I've come to the conclusion after much debate in the group chat. Only 2 leagues in the world matter: England and Spain. The only 2 leagues that matter.
Germany?
No, Germany. Germany, because like Dortmund is just trash. Like Dortmund's not a threat at all. Like I said, it's not like these. I got no faith. Like I watched. I just know these Italian teams aren't good either. They're awful. Like I watched Napoli play. And it was the first time I really, really watched Napoli play. They have 3 good players. They have 3 good players.
That center back is good.
4.
They got 4. 3 of them are going to go for 100 million.
Yeah.
The one that's a fraud is Buddy with the mask, Osimhen.
Osimhen?
Yeah. He's a fraud.
Real talk. Like I went back and looked at their results. Murphy. They beat Liverpool, and they beat Liverpool. They lost to Liverpool. They've lost 11 times to Milan in a row. Like, who is the good team that they've beat? Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Could they beat Brighton?
Probably not.
Like, they're not better than Brighton.
So thing is,
they're at least on par with Brighton.
I don't know how to say his name, but Frosted Flakes Kellogg's on the left side. He's the best winger in the world.
The dude with the K's in his name?
The dude with all the K's.
He's tremendous. He's fucking tremendous.
He's the best winger in the world.
We'll just call him 2K.
Frosted Flakes.
Not buying it. Don't buy it. Let's get that running.
Best winger in the world. Like, so what? They could beat anybody in the world. on the right day. But the problem is it has to be the right day because Buddy at the top's a fraud.
Everybody else on it. I'm like, I looked at the goals that Milan scored. I'm just like you're really letting like Olivier Giroud like dictate and be like the man couldn't play top level soccer 2 years ago. Like, and he's somehow still like out here just like, I'm just saying, like, their AC Milan's running out Zlatan and Giroud as their strikers, and like they're in the semifinals of the this shit is a joke.
Yeah, I kind of think honestly, I kind of think they're gonna win. The like Champions League. I feel like they can be like they're in a really good run of form. I think they run away with the Inter like ones, and then in the final, City has too many games for me. Like Milan's basically not really gonna have played a serious game in like 3 weeks before that final. So it's like they're gonna be well rested, 90 minutes where they can just sprint around the field. And if Madrid gets there, like they won last year, everybody's already done it. I personally, I mean, I could be wrong on this. Like maybe if y'all are out there long enough to go to a Champions League game, I don't think just from watching the games, I don't think these teams or the fans in Europe care about Champions League the way we do as like Americans because it's on during the day out here. And like, so like when I watch these games, I'm like, I just don't think they really care that much. So like Madrid, I feel like Madrid won it last year. I believe Vinny and Rodrigo are going to rather be on the beach. Camavinga, they got the draft's 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like he's busy. Like I just don't. I'm not sure. Like Benzema has a sex tape to sell. I heard the Kardashians are running around Europe. Like you never know. That could be a collab project. Like I don't know if Madrid's really gonna like get up for the game, and I don't know if City's gonna have the legs for the games. And Milan could like punch you in the mouth real quick.
Does Leao leave this summer?
I think he has to. He's tough.
I love Leao.
Oh, that run he made this past week. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday. The Tuesday night match, the second leg. That was impressive. And then, of course, tap in merging my boy Olivier Giroud. He just finds goals, by the way. I mean, there just comes to a point of like, it does matter if you can actually put the ball in the back of the net. And he made that fantastic run.
He's no Alvaro Rata. Like he does finish. So I gotta give him. Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
am I wrong? Like, do these dudes actually care more than they show off, or like? Because I honestly, and I watched the Copa del Rey's, and I know I made the jokes like, yo, they play 79 fucking Clásicos a year. Like, do they care about this one? Right? It's hard for me to believe Madrid cared about either of those Chelsea games more than they cared about like the game against Granada that I watched a couple months ago.
But do you think that the environment properly translates on TV? Because, like, for example, my boy was at one of the Champions League when they was doing the group play stage, and I'm watching it. But then when I see the video that he sent me, it looked like there was a civil war going on in the stands. It was smoke everywhere and flares. But on TV, you don't capture the electricity. So I think it's unfair to think that that's an accurate representation of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could be wrong. That's why I was wondering if you guys were going to any of the Champions League games. Just
I'm looking at the schedule. I might go to one.
But like, I feel like I don't know. And again, I could be wrong. I feel like if you told Madrid they could win La Liga and Copa del Rey, or they could lose both and win Champions League, I think they're taking the domestic success. And I like when I watched Napoli play, they looked like a team that was like, yo, we already did what we wanted to do. Like, we don't really care about this competition. We won the one we already wanted to win. Like, we're chill.
Oh, see, and that's where I disagree, because I think Madrid's number one priority is Champions League, just because it's become their La Liga.
And only because that changed when y'all went crazy domestic set.
Yeah.
And when obviously when you get the triple boys with Messi, Neymar, and Suarez, y'all just went crazy. And I had the best manager in the world at that time. With Lucho, y'all just went on a crazy run. And so that was like the fallback. And also the Ronaldo versus Messi thing was like, yo, if you run in this one, I have to put everything into this other one. And having Ramos though too, because of the Spanish rivalry that was just naturally happened between Madrid and Barcelona players, but more of a familyhood because, come that second week of June, we on the pitch on that Tuesday, Wednesday, because we have to replicate what happened in the mid-2010s, late 2000s and mid-2010s. So
absolutely nothing family about the Madrid and Barca play.
The Ramos and PK, when it comes to when they put on that Spanish shirt, bro, it's just different, bro.
I believe they won the World Cup, and like you only saw Barca players celebrating with Barca players, and you only saw Madrid players celebrating with Madrid players. Just because they had success doesn't mean that like they like each other.
It's 3 in a row though. Three major trophies in a row. This shit.
And
Was
they hated each other the whole time.
Nah, they're cool.
No,
They're cool. I didn't say that. No, I didn't say they was.
I know
besties.
you like to let Deion air out his shit.
I said they were
let him
cool.
get his takes off, so because these are gonna be
They're
good.
cool. A lot of them
facts
like,
a fact.
no, they
Play
had
the
more beef
clip
with like
of when
Javi
they won.
Alonso. Javi Alonso was the one that like that didn't get along with like the Barca dudes, but no, they're all good.
Which may be good to get if he my new manager potentially, but that's another talk for another time. X, while we have you, I wrote you an awful text. Didn't like it. The job wasn't done. I'm regretting it now for about 2 weeks. I told you that we had 2.5 fingers on the trophy after a 2-0 lead in Anfield. I did not know that Granit Xhaka was going to show his ass. We had that match taken care of. We talked last week about what happened in Liverpool. We're not the mentality monsters that I thought that we could be after our first time dropping points in a London derby this year. Arsenal is now 4 points, 74 points. City is at 70 with 2 games in hand. With a game in hand, it'll be 2 games in hand after tomorrow against Southampton. We still control our destiny. However, the bookies have made it that City are now the overwhelming favorites to win the title. X, I don't want to talk about what has happened. I need to look forward. I'm not going to. There's no need to talk about the West Ham game. I told you I'm nervous about any time we are playing teams in the relegation zone. Shit sucks. I'll leave it to you, X. I'm hurt right now. I'm nervous. First time all season. I'm super nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think that much has changed. I think that we still just need something against Man City, right? I think before we had a little bit of margin for error. Now we need something, right? We need points. Do I think we're going to go out there and just flat out beat them? Probably not. Can we get a draw against them? Probably. And if we do that, then we're fine, right? Then we still control our own destiny. I like our fixtures. Like Deion said, they have a ton of games, right? So then at that point, it's up to Pep to prioritize what does he want. Now, are they deep enough to where they can prioritize both? Maybe. But chances are they're probably going to prioritize Champions League over the Prem. So, hey, we just got to go away and get a draw. But I would feel a lot more confident about that if I knew Saliba was playing, if I knew Zinchenko was playing. And with both of them up in the air, that's what makes me nervous more so than anything that has happened the last 2 weeks, right? Because rewatching Liverpool, it felt in the moment that we got dominated. But when I rewatched it, that really wasn't the case. And then last week was just a disappointment, right? We had our chances, we didn't convert. But I don't know. It's still a coin flip to me. And hey, I'll take a coin flip for the fucking Prem at this point. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, we're huge underdogs. It's a coin flip and anything can happen. It's not like City is like this unstoppable monster. That's the perception, but they've dropped points to people who at the bottom of the table too. So who knows? I think it's wrong to assume they're going to win out. It's possible, but you can't assume it.
They're gonna win out.
Really are.
I mean,
they're gonna win out.
Hey, Chuck. Yeah, they're
They're
gonna
gonna win out.
Go ahead, Charles. You go first, Dion.
I mean, what Jay say, man? Nobody been holding down 7 straight summers like me. Like, come on, man. We know how this shit.
But remember,
goes,
we lost that one game. It was like, oh man, City's gonna go ahead, and then they dropped points to like Southampton. That was
I've been telling you this for 6 months. They're gonna finish the season winning like 30 straight points, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. It's not this is the best they've looked all season. Like they know what they're doing. Like they've literally load managed to get to this point. Like they got to the end of the season. Now they're playing lineups they haven't played all year. Like this is the best they've looked like. But yeah, man, I hate it for you. I just really hate. I really do.
Not been good though.
Huh?
Who they played?
Once again, but you're talking about them dropping points to Southampton. They're beating who the fuck they got to beat.
I'm saying who they did. Yeah, fair. But that was with Ake. You don't think the injury changes up anything? Just a question.
Not against y'all.
First off, I don't think
that's why I'm asking you. You told me that there we go with Ake and now Laporte. You're not worried about Rodrigo. You ain't worried about Bakayo on Wednesday? Because I think we should rest Bakayo tomorrow. I don't want him to play. I don't think
Saka's been that good in a little while.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch
he was really bad against Southampton.
He was the best. Him and Harry are the two best English players. He was.
I think he could have a good game against City, and you guys still lose 3-1.
He was really bad against Southampton. Like, I don't know how you could look at it any different.
West Ham,
whatever. He should have been taken off in like the 30th minute. That's like one of the worst performances of the year by any player.
He wasn't good.
Yeah.
He wasn't good.
Okay,
the thing
so he hasn't been good. Anyway, I mean, first off, I told y'all this was going to happen. And listen, I said it in the beginning of the year. I said the moment Arsenal drops points, that clown y'all have at manager has no idea how to like get a locker room to go. They're front runners. They're the Memphis Grizzlies of the NBA.
Oh, Deion.
Of the EPL. And at the end of the day, what you can never fucking do is let the bully know you're scared. And then when they went out there against West Ham and they jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and then they blew it. They blew it because they were looking ahead to the City game. And now City knows, like, yo, these dudes want nothing to fucking do with us. I think y'all are about to get like, stalled out next week. Like, badly. Badly. City's the bully. Y'all are scared. Y'all are pussy. Like, at the end of the day. But we knew that last year. Listen, we did that last year. It's the same old shit. It's the same old shit with Arsenal. Same old shit with Arteta. It's just a different way they're doing it this year. It is what it is.
I just don't think there are a lot of teams that can actually play football with City and beat them. If you're trying to score against them, they're going to score against you. If you the only time teams hold them are teams that are sitting back in a low block against them and they're trying to keep them from scoring. They're not trying to score themselves. That's why I think they're going to beat Madrid, because Madrid has to try to score on them. That's the only way they know how to play. And now it's a little different because they got big Germany back there. So I think that turns the tide for them in that time. And I think you guys, sure, like I said, I think everything you're saying about Saka might be true. He could have a goal and an assist. They'll still might lose 4-2. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't think it matters, like, especially at home. I just think, like, the way they're playing it at home, I think, like, the blood's in the water.
But see, look, and injuries happen, right? So we're not as deep as City.
No.
We have a particular brand of football, and Rob Holding being back there, we're not playing Arsenal football. So can this version of Arsenal beat City? Absolutely not. Can the version of Arsenal when Saliba's out there, when Partey's out there in the middle, can that team beat City? Yes. So really,
well, they didn't.
No, because they haven't played Saliba yet.
Saliba hasn't played against City once.
No. They rested him during the whatever match, and then in the
FA Cup. You mean when they're too pussy to play their starting 11?
And the other one, fucking Rob Holding was holding on to Haaland's leg like a fucking little kid, like. And it's not. It's deeper than that.
It's part of the process. This is like y'all are like what 17 years with this dude at manager. Like this, like you think he didn't know?
We're just not, bro. But the thing is, his brand of soccer is elite. But you need certain skill sets from your center backs. Rob Holding cannot break lines, so that allows him to fucking press us and fucking keep us on our end of the field. And then we can't play Arsenal footballs, and that's because we got Rob Holding. But are there a couple dozen center backs who have that skill set? No. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a process. But when we have a backup who can actually carry a similar skill set, then if Saliba goes down, our margin for error isn't as narrow. But right now we have no margin for error.
You can't play Arsenal football though, and it's like, yeah, but what is the better chance of happening on Wednesday? Y'all playing Arsenal football or than playing City football? Like, that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to I'm not disparaging what y'all can do. I don't think you can play well, and I still think you're going to lose.
But all right, so let's be honest. How many teams would even attempt to play a high line against City?
Nobody. No, but I'm saying I didn't think you.
But can that work? Yes.
I didn't think you guys played bad at home, and you still lost. You still lost.
We played bad in the second half,
but I thought for what I thought was going to happen, I thought you held your own, and like what's what I'm saying though, and you still lost.
But no Partey. I know we're not saying I know I'm not trying to get in terms of giving.
Did he have court?
Say again?
Did he have court? Why didn't he play?
Come on, dog.
You the one twerking for a rapist, not me. You come on.
I just said he
Jesus
didn't play.
Christ.
Look, all I'm saying is that when you get to that level of soccer, right, it matters, right? I just sat here and we were talking about Ake's out for City, and y'all talking about all the different machinations and configurations that they could do to try and cover that up and how much that would matter. So then it matters when Ake's out, but when I say, hey, Saliba completely changes how we play football, then you just dismiss it. Then it's because of the
I
shit
said
manager.
it doesn't
like,
matter
no.
if Ake is back there or not. I said Laporte can hold it down just fine. I didn't say
We're
I said it
also
didn't matter.
missing Tamayasu.
I'm
We're
saying
missing two of our
City can't
starters.
survive without Ake for what it's worth against Madrid at least. Second off, the reason I trust City to figure it out more, like if it's against y'all, is because bro,
They're deeper.
Arteta's really like you could say what you want. Brand of football is fabulous, right? Like that's probably the perfect brand of football you want a manager to have. There's other managers that have that brand of football. He's objectively a bad in-game and locker room manager. Like he is. It's been a long time of this shit. He's objectively bad. It's the same story every year.
I'll agree with the substitution patterns because I haven't liked the substitution patterns the last few games. I'll agree with that. Locker room, who the fuck knows? I think he gets a bad rap because of the all or nothing. And, you know, he's cartoonish with his storytelling and shit like that.
Listen, that January window last year is hilarious. Like what they had to do in the January window last year because Arteta couldn't control the locker room is hilarious. Like objectively hilarious. No striker for 3 months because he couldn't convince one striker to stay on the team.
I mean, but
4 months.
But Aubameyang's a dickhead, though, right?
Is he though?
Agree on that. Is he not?
Barcelona loves him.
He's about to be on his 4th team in fucking 13 months. So is he not a dickhead?
He's not. No, not as much as I think he gets a bad rap, but no.
I think
I have a different experience.
I just think Arteta like couldn't control him, which is fine. Like maybe what he needs is what Arsenal currently is: the young, scrappy, front-running underdog. And that's
because
fine.
in Barca, because Barca's Barca, then he that allowed his ego to be in check because he wasn't expected to go there and lead Barca to the promised land. He was just trying to fucking get time on the field. But when he's in Arsenal, he's like, I'm the star of the show. And now his ego is fucking out of control. And all of the worst parts of his personalities will come out. So of course, yeah, you're gonna have a different experience. But then look at him in Chelsea. How'd that work out? Not well. But you're like, hey, we'll take him to be our fucking third striker option. I'm sure you would. You know what I'm saying? But obviously the expectations are gonna be
Arteta just can't manage personalities. And like when in the big moments, he folds. And he did it last year. He's doing it this year. And like, I think this team is perfect for him. Call it a joke if you want. Like, I actually think they're like front running underdogs. Like, it is what it is. Like, certain teams have that personality. And that's the Arsenal personality, which is why I told y'all during the World Cup, I said every time they drop points, they will go on a streak of dropping points. And every time they've dropped points, they've gone on a streak of dropping points. And when everything's great, they're one of the best teams in the world. If Arsenal had won 3 or 4 straight building up to this City game, I mean, that's a tough team to beat. But like the team that drops points is not that good. And that's on Arteta. And like, I don't know, maybe that's the growing process for him. And maybe like 3 years from now, that won't be the case. But like, you can't point to a time period in his 5-year tenure where this isn't a fact.
We're going on 11 weeks since we lost in the league, though. It'll be 11 weeks by the time we
I don't care about that. I don't care about that stuff because like if you draw against 2 objectively bad teams, that is a loss.
Liverpool's not bad.
We're at that point of the season where draws feel like losses. So that's not
if the way you're gonna defend Arteta in like this team from like blowing 2 bad games is saying that a bad team isn't that bad. Like, I mean, come on.
How many games are left? 5, 6 games are left. With 5 or 6 games left in the season, and if we get a result away, then we're in control of our destiny and can win the Prem. I don't see how that you can possibly describe that as us underperforming. No one expected us to run away with it, right?
I didn't say underperforming. All I said was you guys are front running type of dudes.
Well, no, but you're saying, but it's been 4 years of this shit. It's been 3 years of this shit, and you make it seem like bro, like we're still in a position to win. I don't understand like why
it's 5 years of the same stuff just because you're doing it at a different level, right? Like Like the Clippers were gonna clip no matter what, right? Sometimes they did it in the first round, sometimes they did it in the semis, right? CP3 gonna CP3. If he does it in the first round or the final, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it still happened. And what I'm saying is like, yes, you guys have gotten farther along in the process, but Arteta is currently Arteta. And you cannot tell me that's not what's happening right now.
No,
Like this is exactly what happens all the time.
no arguments in terms of Arteta in-game management right now or the ability to make the right substitutions at the right time. He has struggled with that. There's no doubt about it. The reason why we have done incredibly well throughout the season is our way of, our brand of football. Like we have just put, when we win matches, it's by 1 to 2 goals outside of, let's take away the Bournemouth match, where we had to win, but like that was on a comeback, etc. But then like when we're going, we have to press, things of that nature. He struggles when it comes down to the holding emotional matches. It's very true. Very true. No different than what we did last year.
You guys should have been in the Champions League this year, and you're not because Arteta. It is what it is. And you realistically, like I'm not saying you guys like didn't win it on your own, but City also handed y'all the Prem this year with some really, really, really bad performances at times. Like specifically, it was Southampton or Bournemouth when the fucking World Cup ended.
Brentford, when Tony scored twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like certain things City doesn't normally do, right? And the whole time it's like, okay, like City's eventually going to string off 30 straight points, like Charles said. Yes. But if Arteta doesn't Arteta, they could win 30 straight points and it wouldn't have mattered. Like that's the gap that City gave y'all. And he's still allowing them to stay in it because he just can't get this team up like for certain matches. He just can't. And he hasn't been able to do so in 5 years. And all I'm saying is maybe, right? Like I compared him to the Grizzlies. I promise you the Grizzlies are hoping Taylor Jenkins can do the same thing where he matures as a coach and it allows the team to mature as long as they're all together. Maybe that's the case. It also might fucking not be. And so like that's like something that has to be in question moving forward. Like it's not just like, yo, Saliba gets hurt, we have a backup center back coming in, or Saka gets hurt, we have another backup winger that can play the system in Trossard. But it's also like, when is this team emotionally going to mature? And unfortunately, like a team's like maturation period doesn't start with the team, the manager or the coach, whatever the sport is, has to have that, and yours doesn't. Like he just doesn't.
I think he has a chance to get it in this next 6 weeks. It's very important for him.
Listen, if they lose on Wednesday,
yeah,
I mean it's over. So it's like there ain't no 6 weeks. They got about 6 days.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like I hear you. I do want to. I mean, we're talking semantic. 5 years ago today, actually, Wenger announced that he wasn't going to come back to Arsenal. So for 19 straight years, they made top 4, and obviously they won the Prem a couple of times in there, lots of FA Cups, etc. And that was like, but Wenger, when he left him in a horrible spot because the scouting wasn't where it needed to be, the academy wasn't needed where it needed to be, and quite candidly, they weren't. Obviously, you guys know that we deal with the Cronkies. Shout out to Edward Jones Dome right behind me. And they weren't spending. The project is in a great spot. And I honestly think, Deion, and this is where I agree with you, I think he may have surprised himself that he had a chance to be 2 results or better than his mentor and, in my opinion, the best team in Europe for the last 4 years overall.
I think that's
he
the
surprised
worst.
himself, and that's a problem. He wasn't ready for it. He clearly isn't ready. He may not be ready for it.
But that's crazy to me because like just last year, they were up 5 points with 3 games to go to be top 4, and he blew it.
Yes.
So was he surprised then too?
And I think that I'm gonna say this.
I mean, you act like. I understand
Tottenham was a better team.
Y'all act like y'all got relegated last year. Like y'all,
it felt like it. It felt like it because either you're in there.
That doesn't change the fact that y'all were up 5 points with 3 to go. He blew it. This isn't a team that was in the relegation zone 5 years ago. You won an FA Cup 5 years ago. You've been close to the top 4 the last few years. Like this isn't this isn't fucking West Ham. This is Arsenal. When are y'all gonna act like a real club?
Well, here's the difference. There's a difference between getting to top four, as you and Charles definitely have imitated like throughout our year, and winning the Prem. It takes a lot. Like Liverpool, like look at the Liverpool run-ins. They know how hard it is. Like they didn't lose from like March from St. Patrick's Day on until the end of the year, and still came up short on the last.
But y'all
and getting top four and winning.
But y'all last year are better than Liverpool this year.
Y'all,
Liverpool is. We are just now talking about the far away possibility. Like it's not even a realistic possibility. It's a far away possibility of Liverpool being top four. I cannot stress enough. 5 points up, 3 games to go. Like y'all were not a bad team last year. You weren't that bad last year. Like it's a mindset thing, and it's the whole fucking club. Like, and I know fans have zero to do with it, but like Arsenal fans, the reason like y'all get called a little club is because y'all fucking act like it. Arteta acts like it, and because of that, the players act like it. Ownership spends like it. Y'all talk about yourselves like, oh, it's just some miracle we're like top 4, and like no, it's not. Like you guys were top 4 last year. You should have been top 4. This is the next step. Like it's the same thing Tottenham thought we were going to do this year. You get top 4 and then you assume you're going to make the next step to the Prem. We fucking stink, right? Y'all were basically top 4 and you think you're going to make the next step towards the Prem trophy, which y'all have done. If Arteta didn't prepare to make the next step, I mean, what the fuck are we talking about?
I think he did. And now
you just said he was surprised.
I think he's surprised about the moment. I think he prepped. I think he's surprised that we're where we are in the standings. I think he is surprised about that. I am like if you asked me a year ago at this time, like we were top right. We're literally right in this point a year ago. We were top 4.
You're third.
A couple weeks before the Tottenham match or whatever.
So look. Let me don't debate.
The project is going up though. We have been on the ascend though, Deion.
Sure, but this isn't Brighton. We keep talking about this fucking project. Like, what are we talking about? Like, you guys were top 4 last year.
We were 8 2 years ago. We were
okay, and you were top 4 last year, blew it, and now you're first place and you're blowing it. Like, this isn't some 10-year project. Like, you guys are on schedule, right? Like. You are on schedule. Liverpool's behind schedule. Tottenham's behind schedule, and Man U is the one that's ahead of schedule. And so, act like it. And he doesn't, and he didn't last year. He isn't this year, and it cost y'all top 4 last year, and it's going to cost you a trophy this year. Just call it like it is. That's all I'm saying.
I think some of what you say is right, but he had his ability to manage us when Jesus went down, who was our best player up until that point in the season. Everyone expected us to fall off form, right? Then Partey gets hurt. We go out and sign old-ass Jorginho, which everybody at church is like, thanks for the 12 mil. He's a fucking bum. Hey, he came through for us. You know what I'm saying? We were playing with fucking Eddie Nketiah, who has done nothing in his career, and he was able to hold shit down. And then we have no depth. We go out, we get Trossard. Trossard has been he's gotten the absolute most out of Trossard. And we've been able to maintain a level of play to where if he wasn't a good manager, we would have been fell off. We would have been fell off, right? Sure. Because we have no margin for error. None. We have no depth. Like the functional depth that we have was acquired in season. Jorginho was acquired in season. Trossard was acquired in season. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't even have those 2 players who have come up clutch for us when the season fucking first started. So his ability to assimilate those guys into the lineup and to keep us at that level, you can't credit anybody else but Arteta. But will I admit that his ability to manage certain games in the middle of the games and to make the right calls, I think it's a combination of he doesn't have the players available, and what he does have, he's pulling the wrong levers at the wrong time, right? So I will agree to that, and you're right. That probably is a sign of immaturity. So I'll give you that. But this is a learning experience. Arteta hasn't been in this position before to this degree. It's different when you're competing for top 4 versus when you're competing for the fucking Prem against fucking City, who won the Prem last year and then added Haaland. Like, that's a different level of pressure, and he's been able to manage it as well as you can expect. When you consider all the obstacles that we've had to overcome, you have to credit him. But I'm not going to sit here and say that if we fail, it's all on him, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. You know what I'm saying?
I think it all can be true, though. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad manager. I'm not saying I'm not saying if you guys lose it. I mean, I am saying if you guys blow the trophy, like it's all on Arteta. But like I also don't think it's like some like fire Arteta, like he can never grow into the guy you're looking for, right? Like you guys did what you're supposed to do, right? At the end of the day, top four is what you're supposed to do. Getting seconds, icing on the cake, right? So like Arteta deserves more chances. I'm just saying, like it's not like you can't just be like it's an abomination. Like this is a habit. You know what I mean? Like this isn't something that happened. Like this is a habit of his and Arsenal, and it just is, right? And again, now you're doing it on a bigger stage, but like part of like why I don't like I've never been one of like, you know, you learn through failure. I've never really like, oh, he had to lose to win. Like I'm not huge on that because in losing, you create habits. And in the losses that he's had, even like when ML says we were 8 2 years ago, they should have been 7th and they blew that, right? And like that's a bit of a difference. So it's like you were 5th last year or 6th, whatever it was, but you should have been 4th or 3rd. Like, but you blew it. And now it's like you're gonna be 2nd, but you should have been 1st. Like, this is a habit of the last couple of years. It ain't easy to break habits. It really isn't. So like it's something that you just have to be like, if they do it again next year, that's when you have to start talking like, can this guy get us over the hump? Like, is this something that he's built for? As great of a manager as he is, like in training, and as great of a manager as he is in December, January, February, which he is, maybe he's not cut out for May. And like he does play a beautiful brand of football, but like not like he's the only dude in the world that plays that brand. You know what I mean? So
Great thoughts. Love the discussion. I mean, nothing, honestly, if there's one thing I want, like as a gift in April, would be for us to chop it up with both of y'all in Europe, even if it's for 10 minutes next week. I'm excited for y'all to be there. Yeah, it's you know, it's my dad just say button crunching times right now, man. You know,
it's what I always say. Or in Charles said, assholes get tight, right? And like, I mean, not to make it about the NBA, but like the reason I couldn't be less concerned about the Warriors is because I know when assholes get tight, my dude's gonna be straight. Assholes get tight in Arsenal, and it's not that case. You know, the reason City's chilling, assholes get tight on Wednesday, KDB gonna be straight. You know what I mean? He's chilling. Pep gonna be chilling. That's another game for them. For Arsenal, assholes get tight. It's a problem.
But it was that way with Giannis. With Giannis is he can't come through. He can't come through. He can't lead the team. Yeah, he's individually brilliant, but until he did it, and now
absolutely
the entire perception changed. Same with Dirk. So until you do it, they're always going to assume that you don't. And because City has done it, you're right. The perception is City's going to do what they do, and Arsenal's going to do what they do, which is not necessarily a positive thing until they break through. And you're right. He's going to have to actually show that he can step up and do the right thing when it matters the most. And until then, I don't blame you for having that perception. I just think he's capable of it. You kind of sound like you just think he's incapable of doing it. And I think there's a small chance that he can. And we'll find out. You know what I'm saying?
At the current state, I feel like he's incapable. I will say, like, I will say, like, I think part of like this quote unquote project that you guys have been discussing for 7 months on here, I do believe part of that is not only personnel, but it is like the board assuming he takes that next step as a manager. But what he's shown the previous 2 years, whether it's falling out of Europa and joining Tottenham in Conference League, which I mean, the fact that 2 of the big 6 played in Conference League not long ago is hilarious to me.
We didn't even make it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys fell to 10th, didn't you?
We felt no eighth place doesn't get.
Oh,
that's y'all won and we won, but y'all won like in the late stages. Chelsea like had points. So Tottenham was in. That was Conte, his second.
That was Conte.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was before Conte. Conte coached us in Conference League last year.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but either way, it's like y'all blew it and couldn't get into that, and then y'all blew, Champions League and have to play in Europa, and now it's like you're blowing the trophy in your second. It's like, for me, like that's three habit years.
The Jordan 1s are available on the sneakers app right now.
Say less.
They already sold out my size. That's what I was trying to do.
13s?
They already sold out the 16s ASAP.
Actually, the 13s?
The ones. The black and white.
No. Size 13.
They should still be on there.
Can you check? I'll Venmo you right now, Max.
But like I just think that like maybe he'll grow, maybe he'll be better, like maybe he will, but maybe he won't. Like we don't know the answer to that. And what we've seen so far suggests he won't. So we'll just have to see. I mean, we really will just have to see. And that's the difference. That's why, bro, dead ass. Y'all are Memphis Grizzlies are deep. Like it just is what it is. When everything's going great, everybody's happy on the field. Hey, if you told me Jesus hits a gritty, starts talking about it's a parade inside Brazil, you know what I mean? Like
I got the Venmo ready to go. X, just let me know. Charles, give me a prediction, brother. You gonna be there?
I mean, are we? Is loser hour finally over? Like Jesus Christ, we talking about your second place ass for 20 minutes.
We first place right now. Why are you calling me out?
Hey man,
it's been the Tottenham guys talking, just like your boy Levy was talking about my club this week. Keep your club out my mouth.
Well, listen, let's get one thing straight. We were asked about little bro. You know what I mean? Let's get one thing straight. You know what I mean?
Give me a prediction, Charles.
4-1 City.
4-1.
4-1 City. X is heated.
Okay, please protect my bro. I need him back.
I got him, man.
I need him back.
2-2 draw.
Yeah, Desmond. Go ahead, Deion.
I kind of think that, but honestly, I think y'all get blown out. Like I was trying
to one from Charles. Is it 5-0 from you?
I was truly like, I want to be completely honest here. I was truly trying to sit here and like think to myself, like, yo, they have to have a chance, right? Like they have to. And the more I thought about it, like, no sleep and no Zinchenko for sure.
We don't know.
Getting a hat trick.
Zenny.
I feel like the 6'5" dude is gonna score one quick. And the moment he scores one, like y'all are cooked. Because like realistically, I mean respectfully, like I think a draw is a win for City more so than y'all. You know what I mean? Like I really do.
No
chance. I just don't think y'all can hold up. So like I feel like to me, this feels like the second leg of a Champions League game where one team is like it's 0-0 going back to the Etihad. And like if they score first, you guys have to get open up so wide that it's just gonna be one after another after another. It's gonna be it could be a 3-0 game that I don't actually feel like is a 3-0 game. You know what I mean? Like you guys just had to play so wide open, unfortunately. And I just like I said, I refuse to believe Arteta can get his team up for this match. Like there's no way. He hasn't shown he can do it in 5 years, man.
I'm with you too.
I do want to say, Charles, like you remember when I said earlier in the year, I'm like, yo, Arsenal fans are just crazy delusional. Like they got the videos of Saka playing in Champions League football, like highlight tapes and stuff.
Yep.
Like this whole discussion is that in a nutshell. Like, you know what I mean? Like I provided factual information about Arteta. And
actually,
you know what I mean?
He hasn't been coaching for 5 years, Deion. It's only been 3. Like, stop saying 5 years.
When was he appointed manager?
Wenger just retired 5 years ago.
When was he?
Who also was about to maybe get top 4. Unai Emery, who's back.
When was he appointed? When was Arteta appointed manager? 2019?
Yes.
19, 20, 21,
he started,
22, 23?
His first match was 2020.
So 2020, so 4 years.
No.
This is
half. Deion, he's been
20, 21, 22, 23.
He wasn't. The season starts in 19, Deion.
Okay, so 19.
He wasn't there. 5 years. Stop putting years on my man. Pause.
I mean, all I'm saying is like, I mean, what are we talking about? Like, it's a habit. Like, he just does this.
All right. We got you.
Jeff Fisher goes 8-8.
We don't get. It comes down to Wednesday. Just a quick kick in it session, real quick. Let's talk about. I got a quick lightning round for y'all because we got to wrap it up in the next 5 years. Be respectful of my man Charles's time.
I got a meeting until 2:30. So,
all right, Charles. Actually, one of the things I have for you: who do you compare Barcelona to in the NBA
as a squad,
right now? Who's your current Barcelona comparison? Not history, current right now.
Current Barcelona team too. Fuck. I would say
Denver.
somewhere maybe the Suns or the Clippers.
Denver.
I would say more of the Clippers just because of like injury problems.
Denver.
That we have no Jokic.
I disagree.
Big Ron.
Petri.
Deion, is Big Ron the La Liga Player of the Year?
Yeah, I think so. He's really good, man. He might be. Yeah, we would never call a defender the best player in the world, but like, I mean, if we ever were going to, like, you know what I mean?
That run he made against Madrid when he almost scored, I was like, all right.
Nasty.
Bro, I don't remember the team they played on Sunday, and obviously it was like a high school team. But like the whole defense got blown by. Big Ron came from across the field, stole the ball, and then megged the guy. I was like, yo, man, this dude
nasty. He's
like,
literally a machine.
It's just different. He's just different. Like,
bro, he is Dennis Rodman. Like, I swear he'd be in Vegas and be fine. That's exactly Big
but
Rod.
he does like the thing I like about him. He does it with like a Steph Curry like serial killer mindset, right? Like Jordan Poole and Steph do a lot of the same stuff, but when Jordan Poole do it, like you know he did it. It's very loud. And when Steph does it, it's like, oh shit, Steph has 40 again. Big Ron, it's like, oh shit, I guess Big Ron just stopped another goal. like when Koundé does something, and he's a great player too, respect to him. But when Koundé does something, you know, because it's about a 5-minute celebration period that he actually did something on the pitch. You know what I mean? Like Big Ron kind of just does it. But I would say they're the Nuggets because like they have a ton of success, right? And I know I just said like domestic success is more important than Champions League, but at the end of the day, like when you haven't won Champions League, the importance like is like goes up, right? Like that's why it's so important for City. But like I don't necessarily feel like with some of the other teams it's as important. And like I feel like Denver has like one thing they're missing that they're gonna get this year. And honestly, man, like there's a long way to go between now and next year, but like Barcelona is in the best position to be the best team in the world next year, like by far. They have a million different options they can go about it. I mean, we sat on here and talked about it last week, so I won't get into it too much, but they could get Messi. They could also not get Messi and keep 3 very talented players. And it's like you're choosing between the best player in the world or 3 dudes that are extremely talented. Like that's a hell of a choice to have. Yeah, they are going to get Gundogan. They might get Bernardo Silva. Like
that's a possibility now. Did you see what Gundogan his latest comments this week?
Yeah, I think they're going to get him, but like maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. The point is like they're gonna bring other guys into an already really deep and talented team, and like maybe they get the best player in the world. So it's like you throw Messi next to Gavi, Pedri, Dembele, that back line, Ter Stegen's the best goalie in the world, like by far, not even fucking close right now. I just feel like the avenues for them to be the best team in the world.
Yeah, we already had the best midfield.
Yeah. Despite all the financial shit are crazy. So like they remind me of the Nuggets where it's like, I feel the same way about the Nuggets. Like the Nuggets could lose this year, but if the Nuggets woke up tomorrow and said, yo, who wants MPJ or Jamal Murray and like 7 first-round picks? You're throwing like one of the best players in the world next to Jokic, and now you're cooking.
I feel you. Who's more toxic, X? Granit Xhaka or Draymond Green?
Draymond.
Bro, Draymond did nothing wrong.
Hold on. You mean Xhaka, the one who their captain that got booed at home by his own home fans? I would say that takes the
Oh,
cake.
this fuck off.
Yes.
I'll tell you right now.
Yes.
I'll tell you right now. If we win tonight, if Draymond runs through that tunnel on Sunday, ain't gonna be a single boo in that bitch.
No. That's changed up for granted. But who's more toxic though? Like, I mean, why are
Draymond literally cost y'all a ring against Cleveland.
Yes.
Like literally cost you a ring. Jacques has never cost us anything close to a ring.
I've seen him.
He never been in the position.
Grant, I'm just saying. So with the stakes
more,
on the line, and even that game against Liverpool,
holding.
It wasn't Jacques that cost us that turned that game around. It was that goal. And then once that goal came, then after that, you see the players that chanting to the crowds. It was them being back in the game more than Jacques.
I've never seen a home crowd boo their captain.
Here's my thing though. Here's my thing with Draymond. Like, here's the difference between Draymond and other dudes. Minus like the nut kicks, which I don't think there's any excuse for, and like there's no room for that in sports. You know what I mean? Like absolutely no room for like what he was doing in sports. I do have on my phone montages of Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook doing the same thing in the same series, but that's neither here nor there. They didn't get, you know what I mean? That's fine. They blew a 3-1 lead. It's fine. It's a long montage though. You know what I mean? Neither here nor there. But what Draymond gets in trouble for is he can't separate like being a real one and playing in the NBA. You know what I mean? Like when he got suspended in the finals, no grown man stepping over me, period. And Draymond didn't let Bron step over him and he got suspended. No grown man's grabbing my ankle on a basketball court, period. And he stomped on Sabonis for grabbing his ankle. He can't separate the two. Jacques is just the reason y'all boo Jacques is there's no excuse for what he does. Like, I can look at almost any Draymond moment and be like, well, yeah, if we were at 24-hour fitness, like that doesn't matter. The problem is you're not. Like, that's his biggest issue.
Charles, I'm going to go at your heart a little bit. Mr. Tad, who would you rather build a team around? Bryce Young or Frankie Deion?
Frankie Deion.
Why?
His ceiling's higher. What are you talking about? Like
I know you love Bryce Young though.
I do love Bryce Young. But I think there's a great, like, Bryce Young's I'm hoping for. Frankie DeYoung is proven. So I just
What about your boy Trevor?
Oh no, Trevor's generational now. That's different. You could have said, if you said Trevor versus Pedri, that would have been a conversation.
I think it. Well, that's why I'm asking you. That's where I was going.
I would go Pedri.
Oh,
over Trevor Lawrence, only because I just think Pedri's a more rare player than I think Trevor Lawrence is. They made one Pedri. They made one Pedri. Justin Herbert is a poor man's Trevor Lawrence. They made one Pedri.
You got CJ Stroud in this draft, might be Trevor Lawrence.
That's what I'm saying. They made one Pedri, bro.
I would.
I'm just saying, like I could find a 6'4" quarterback or 6'5" quarterback with an arm. Like they made one Pedri.
I mean, Caleb Williams is still in college.
I've seen Trev win though.
You know, you pulled at my heartstrings. This is a tough one, but like I said,
that's why I did it.
I know they made. I feel like they made one.
What is Trevor won? Collegiate awards?
Yes.
Collegiate championships? If Pedri was bad enough to play in college, he'd have all types of trophies.
X, who has changed their game? Who has changed their sport more? Lionel Messi or Stephen Curry?
There's only one right answer to this.
I would say neither, because nobody can do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's Curry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can just step on the field and be fucking Messi like this, singular.
X, I didn't bring a 23-year-old from Las Vegas and a 23-year-old from LA into your room and say, I needed you to pick. Okay, I need you to pick one. That's what I brought to you. I didn't bring one to the other.
We both know 23 way too old. You know
Yo, thank God this shit gonna get like 7 views. You know what I'm saying?
No, the clips.
Give me Curry. Give me Curry, because I think you see more players who try to emulate Curry. Of course, it can't be Curry, but he has changed the geography of the court. You know what I'm saying? He's extended the 3-point line 4 or 5 feet back. Now you see Lillard. You see these other players pull from a certain distance. So
Dylan Brooks.
He's changed the game. He's essentially helped eliminate the traditional power forward position, because you can't guard the Warriors with a traditional 4. So because of that, I'm gonna say Curry.
I was gonna say Steph for the same reason, and I think this is the biggest respect I could ever give to Messi. Messi's so good, no one thinks they can do it, right? Steph's the guy everyone thinks they can replicate, and they can't. But because they think they can, the sport's changed arguably for the worse. And when people say Steph ruined the game, it's not that Steph ruined the game. It's that this 6'3" scrawny kid from Akron, Ohio, Akron's firstborn, as some of us like to say, just a kid from Akron, you know what I mean? 16th year. But like feel like they can do that and you can't. And that like that's the worst possible thing. Like no one feels like they can be Messi. So I think it's on like it's more respect to say you didn't change the game in the way Steph did.
All right, we are done on our soccer predictions, and also just had a just kicking it moment with us. Just we don't have that once an episode, just to, as we say, just kicking it. Could be random lightning questions. They don't know that it's coming. Don't want them prepared. But those were very, very good answers. We have one last prediction as we close the show. Davis Garcia in Vegas, Saturday night. 3 great boxing guys that I have depended on each 3 of them actually for mixed martial arts as well. But I love listening to those 3 talk boxing. They've helped me on some good gambling as well. But boxing wise, Charles, we got one of the best lightweights in my opinion. Like he a hitter, boy. He tough, young Tank.
I'm on the fence about this. I want Ryan to win, only because I appreciate the fact that like in the world of boxing where people aren't fighting, he sought Tank out and he got the fight done. Like so, I like for that alone, like he could lose and I really not give him. It's not going to really take away from him because like I'm all for like and for my thing in boxing is like dare greatly, bro. Like go for that shit. Like I ain't care that that Canelo lost when he went up. Like if you're losing things like when Izzy lost going up to when Adesanya was going up in weight, if you lose like trying to dare and do some shit that you ain't supposed, you know, that you're pushing the limits of like what you could do, like I don't really hold those things against you. So like I want Ryan to win on that thing. I think like I've seen a lot of the last couple of fights. Like I feel like I've seen people outbox Tank, but that shit don't matter once he hit him. And so it's like I seen Rolly like hang with him. I seen Leo Santa Cruz hang with him. I thought Leo Santa Cruz was boxing circles around his ass
until
he got touched.
until that uppercut put him into another realm.
And so it's
you know
like
what I'm saying?
The thing about it is I think Ryan's going out there and that's the other thing I respect about Ryan. Ryan is going in there to knock Tank out. In his mind, I think that's what he's not. Neither one of them are going in there to fight 12 rounds. But I do think like. If Ryan can catch him with that hook, I'm always interested to see if Tank can take a punch.
Mm.
But like if he catch him with that uppercut, I mean, I and that goes for Shakur, Devin Haney, any of them. Like I think like Shakur is like probably like a better boxer than all of them, but I don't think it matters if Tank hit him.
To me, I don't know if Garcia can maintain his power in round 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Yeah. So I think that if fucking Tank, even if he loses rounds, but he gets the fight to deeper to where, you know what I'm saying, Garcia, his hook is maybe takes a half step back. I don't know if he can knock Tank out with one punch. I've seen Tank's power carry into fucking round 10, and he done put motherfuckers to sleep in the later rounds. So the later the fight goes, I think the chances that Tank wins goes up and up and up and up, because ultimately I don't think it gets to a decision. I do want Garcia to win, right? I do want him to win, but I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything that lets me know that he can take a punch. And he's been in there with some fucking tomato cans who have touched his fucking chin. Now, did they have the power to knock him out? No. But he wasn't going straight from his fights to the club after fighting tomato cans. Like you could see he was in a fight. If Tank is landing those same punches, bro, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he gonna make it. So I think Tank should be the heavy favorite, and I believe he is. But I do want Garcia. For the sport of boxing, I either hope that if Garcia loses, I hope that it's either competitive. I hope he loses in a competitive fashion, because I don't think it's hyperbolic to say like a trilogy with them two might fuck around and help save boxing, because boxing is a dying sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the sport needs a fucking trilogy.
That's like a big reason why I want Ryan to win, because I'm like, if Ryan fucking around win this fight, oh shit, y'all like Yeah,
The
man.
rematch would be fucking
He gonna lose his
incredible.
mind. Yeah, it's every like this will set the 135 off in a way that it needs to be because there's so many good fighters in that 140 to 130 range. I mean, you
They
really
just
go down to
need they just
126.
lack star power. They
Yeah.
lack star power. So we need a trilogy. And then at the same time, while that trilogy is happening, we need to see the other boxes kind of built up and put, similarly. Like they need to put the next two best ones and put them on the undercard of the second fight and really like build, you know what I'm saying?
Is this
Take it to where, and it was Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, to where it was for them, and they were just beating the shit out of each other. Like the sport needs that, man.
this is Bud Crawford's division, right? Like
No.
technically,
Bud's
no. Is he
140.
one up?
140.
So he's
No,
one.
my
He's
bad.
one weight class
Bud's fighting
up.
at 147 right now.
But like theoretically, like the winner of this should fight Bud if he
No.
beats Errol Spence. No,
It's 135. They're fighting at 135. So Bud's
but
fighting
Bud normally
147.
fights at 140. Gervonta can't make 140.
Yeah, but he ain't got no belts. Remember, Josh Taylor gave up all them belts.
I don't care about no belt.
Yeah,
I
but the
just wanna
belts
see
don't.
this
The
fight.
belts
I care,
matter
but
less now
I'm
than
just saying,
any.
yeah, but
I don't
yeah,
care.
And the catch weight
I'm
is
saying,
actually
like,
preferred, so they don't have to pay
hypothetically-
the title fee.
Tank
You know
can't
what I'm
beat
saying?
Bud. Bud's too big for him.
I'm saying hypothetically they can make the same weight.
In theory, yeah.
They could, but nobody. They're not gonna want to fight. But A, because he doesn't bring enough to the table, and B, his arms are just too fucking long, and that's the kind of fighter that he can make you look ugly. And it's not, if you're not bringing money to the table and you can make me look bad, I'm not fighting Bud.
But a drag Tank. He couldn't. He boxed circles around him.
That was a test. That was a test. It sounds like Tank and his fans are all pussy. That was a huge test there. I got the answer I needed. Ryan Garcia on Saturday.
What's the number? Plus,
They're like he's like plus 190. I'm taking Ryan because I tell you right now, if Ryan beat Tank, Ryan don't give a fuck about no arms, no weight, no butt. Like the one thing I will say about Ryan, like he really not scared. You know what I mean? Like he's been gunning for this Tank fight for a while. He's been ready for the Tank fight for a while. Yes, he's fought tomato cans in the past, but like at the point of his career, most dudes ain't taking this Tank fight. You know what I mean? Like, and he should be the underdog. But where I think he has the mental advantage is he doesn't fear losing in the manner Tank does.
They make him seem like he just ain't never fought. Like, I mean, he's 3-3 versus Haney in amateurs. Like, it ain't like he ain't never been in there with some of these dudes. Like, I understand it's amateurs, but like, it ain't like he's not of that level of like, no, like I beat Devin Haney before in my life. Like, I ain't beat him as a pro, but like I beat him in my life 3 times. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like I think when Shakur and them be saying he's just a social media fighter, I'm like, y'all be trying to, y'all disrespect like the work he has done. Like the man can fight.
Well, that's because a lot of these dudes are pussy, just like the same way y'all don't want Tank to fight Bud. Like a lot of these dudes just don't want to fight anybody. And I think
Errol don't want to fight fucking Bud for that same reason though.
I agree. But like a lot of these dudes love when other people do their dirty work. And I'm a massive fan of like, I just want to do my own dirty work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want no one else to beat the Grizzlies. Like, I want the Warriors to beat the Grizzlies. It's not as much fun when someone else does it. And a lot of these dudes, Shakur, Haney, are hoping that Ryan loses on Saturday so they can fight Gervonta. Because hypothetically, if you have a chin and you can box, Gervonta is probably the easier fight. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan don't have a chin, so it's probably not the easier fight for him. But if you're Devin Haney, Gervonta is probably like the easier fight. Errol Spence Jr. is probably hoping one of these tomato cans knocked Bud off so he didn't have to do it. You know what I mean? Like all them dudes that were celebrating Jake Paul losing to Tommy, they just didn't want to fight Jake. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. What I like about Ryan is he's anytime, anywhere, any place.
Not to mention Devin about to get a boxing lesson in like 2 weeks.
From who? Loma?
Loma about to box that nigga head off.
Yeah, listen,
Really?
it's a military man now.
He about
to be easy work. He about to be
he's
work.
a Ukrainian military member. He's not a boxer anymore.
good stuff, y'all.
Easy work.
Listen, what, ain't Lomachenko ain't Lomachenko 1-1 in his last 2 fights?
Yeah, but my thing with Lomachenko is I think Devin's going to try to outbox him. I don't think Devin can actually outbox him. That's
next week.
Next the 10th. It's the 10th. But his ego is going into that fight is I'm going to outbox Lomachenko. Not I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna outbox him. I'm gonna get like I don't think there's a boxer in the world that can just like flat out outbox Lomachenko. You can beat him in a fight, but like actually outbox him, no.
Now you gotta back him down. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think, and I think
you
Devin
gotta
gonna
let
sit
your
there
hands
and
go.
Devin gonna sit there and try to do, and I'm like, you gonna play right into this man's hands.
I just think he's old.
That too, but
Yeah,
I just think this is a perfect fight for him. I think
But
the
he
style makes
might
fights.
be the most fundamentally and technically sound boxer right now. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, he's old, but he doesn't have to be at his athletic peak to do what the fuck he does. Just the way he moves is like, bro, Lone was a beast, bro. But we'll see.
Who do y'all think's winning on Saturday? Blueface or Ed Matthews?
I hope for the love of God is that man. I'm so tired of seeing
Who
Blueface.
is Ed Matthews?
I don't know. But they're
I
fighting
hope
on a
that-
YouTube boxing card. Shout out my son at 7-figure giver. You know what I mean? There's a lot of boxing this weekend.
Bro, call me racist. I hope Blueface gets his fucking head knocked off. Bro.
What about JMX versus Le'Veon Bell? Who you got in that one?
I don't know these people. I know who.
You don't know who
obviously
Le'Veon
I
Bell
know
is?
who Le'Veon Bell is,
But who's the other guy?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We
I have
edit
no
all that
idea.
shit. Y'all have a good one.